Writer-director Tillman Singer's sophomore effort Cuckoo opens with a strange and fascinating sequence that already justifies its title before cutting to its hunter Schafer's Gretchen, following her family to their new home in the Bavarian Alps from the vantage point of the moving van. If that sounds like something of a non sequitur, that's because Cuckoo relies on keeping us on our toes and asking questions. The movie's atmospheric approach to horror sometimes works against it, but stellar performances from Dan Stevens and Schafer ultimately make it a home run. The main story of Cuckoo centers on the mysterious goings-on at a resort owned by her Koenig, Stevens, who has far too cheerily welcomed his newest neighbors to town. Gretchen's mother recently passed away, forcing her to move from the US to Europe with her father Luis, Martin Chokas, and stepmother Beth, Jessica Henwick, as well as her young half-sister Alma. The fact that they traveled in separate vehicles is only the first of many hints of the sharp familial divide, and the point is driven home when Koenig makes it clear Gretchen's presence is a surprise. Strong character work is Cuckoo's biggest asset. Cuckoo wastes no time in establishing her Koenig as unsettling, whose overly familiar presence makes even Luis uncomfortable. Such quick and straightforward character sketches are vital when the plot is esoteric, and Singer's screenplay often deals in shorthand when it comes to relationship details. Alma, who still cannot speak even as she approaches her teen years, is likewise immediately shown to be a bright light with a winning personality, making it all the more disconcerting when her terrifying convulsions lead to a diagnosis of childhood epilepsy. Schafer plays the role of a disaffected teen admirably, being simultaneously skeeved out by Koenig yet estranged enough from her family to choose his spooky resort over time spent at home. Her choice to work for him puts her in the path of awkward encounters, including female guests vomiting in the lobby with little to no explanation and a silent but horrifying woman appearing to chase her down dark streets. Paired with moments where she seems thrown into a mini-time loop, Cuckoo almost veers into the supernatural at times before the sickening reality of medical body horror comes into focus. There will be no explanation, there will just be Cuckoo. From the first unnamed teenager who silently spasms to the echoes of bird cries to Gretchen's potentially hallucinatory visions, vibes are the order of the day for much of Cuckoo. This is perfect for Schafer, who is well versed in vibes thanks to her work on Euphoria, but it does leave us with more questions than answers as we reach the final act. It's clear that Koenig is a malevolent force, that Alma is in his crosshairs, and that the odd lady with glowing eyes and piercing shrieks is emblematic of his desires. But there isn't much clarity to his plan. Nevertheless, the climax of the movie is an engrossing one, both in terms of the intense face-off between Schafer and Stevens and thanks to the dearly earned sibling bond forged between Gretchen and Alma. The conclusion may have left me with a confused expression on my face, but it certainly offered plenty of food for thought and no small amount of excitement for Singer's next horror project.